After the recent chic remake of the first part of Resident Evil, the undeservedly forgotten part of the series, which many far consider the true third part, called Code Veronica, immediately came to mind. This game was originally a Sega Dreamcast exclusive because the developers instantly wanted to no one know about it, but even though later it went to PlayStation 2 with GameCube, it still did not find the same popularity as the previous parts of the series. Let's go see if Veronika can really be considered more a complete third part than the third part that eventually came out. The game begins with one of the laziest way to tell the backstory, namely a wall with text that could be replaced with 2 words, in the 3 months in Raccoon City. And what's more, the developers also believe that we can't read, and therefore this text is also spoken in parallel.
3 months later.
Seriously?
Your identification number is WKD4496. Welcome to your new home.
You already locked her in cage. Why else would you break her nose with a bat? Did you think she's have any chance of getting out of jail without it? A bat in the face causes a flashback to start, in which they showed us how Jill, or more precisely Claire, was imprisoned.
We caught her trespassing in our Paris lab facility 10 days ago. She apparently infiltrated the complex looking for her lost brother, Chris Redfield.
How useless is your security in Paris lab if it is to catch one girl with a gun, send a few guards and a fucking helicopter? Did they really think that this is the easiest, fastest, at least expensive way to catch a girl? For that matter, that could have blown up whole building away, since you don't really care about the integrity. Then she would definitely not be able to escape. Caught in the middle of the Paris, she was taken to a jail of some kind island deep in the ocean, because Umbrella likes to complicate things. And this prison is so hard that there are not even saddle in the cells, so as not to lie on moving in the ground. Did they have at least one prisoner living to old age? If I had a lighter, I could see what's outside. With a lighter you can at most illuminate with main face, which you can see perfectly even without a lighter. Based on the Claire's reaction, she has never seen a black man in her life. Turning on the lighter, our eyes for the first time open to the game graphics, which this time is completely 3D, unlike previous games. And since this is the first game on a 6th generation console, visually everything looks head and shoulders above what it was before. And it seems to me that this appearance of Claire is the most attractive among all other options we have ever seen. Attractive not only in terms of boner, but also in terms of working out face. For comparison, this is what a typical gaming face of the time looks like. Questions? The controls are... it's still just as clumsy as it was previous games. Also, the game is now fully 3-dimensional. They still decided to leave the static camera. And I wouldn't say this is very bad, but after the first Resident Evil, which will be released in a couple of years, it's already hard to return to such management. Why does the medicinal herb growing inside the chamber? At the beginning of the game, a game manual will take place in our inventory, which is needed only to occupy one cell of free space. And everything would be fine, just stop and stomp until the first chest, and this book will sometimes be totally off topic. And this could have been avoided if the game had the ability to throw things on the inventory. This does not only apply to the books. At times when my inventory is full and I need to pick up, for example, some pulped item, I had to run to nearest chest to make room and then run back. No matter how much the zombie burns, it will never burn to death. Claire decided to stumble to flat ground and stumble like this in a prone state for so long that several dead people managed to surround her during this time, which could easily been avoided if she had immediately turned around and ran to the next location.
Wait, don't shoot!
Who are you?
Huh? You're not a zombie.
You're a fucking genius. First you start shooting fucking in the void, and then like, oh, you're not a zombie. Why couldn't you ask right away? You're sitting on a high tower, zombies still couldn't get you. This is how we were introduced to Claire's partner, who with his 12-year-old voice will accompany her amongst until the end of the game. And trust me, this is far from the last and far from the dumbest facepalm that this character will provide us with. I can't think of dumber character in entire series. All that he does during this game is to make him want to struggle him quickly. But I won't spoil it, we'll get to this damn thing.
Shut up. Make one wrong move and I'll shoot.
Please, Steve, make that extra move already. Save us from the suffering a whole piece of extra gameplay. Maybe I'm already used to the map from the remake of first Resident Evil, but the map from this game is not very convenient. It does not display whether I was a particular location and whether there's still something left. If I'm not mistaken, this has already happened in the third Resident Evil. Also, I could be wrong, it's still not convenient. In some moments, of course, it's more convenient than before, but I already spoiled with the newer games with a more convenient map. In order to climb a ledge of steps, you need to press a button, which is also not difficult, it does not interfere much, but still it would be better if you could just go through. Well, this is not some kind of loading, it remains the same location.
No way. He won't come. You'll just end up disappointed if you rely on others. Believe me, I know.
What was that all about?
With him, the most common attack of menstruation. No wonder Steve within normal range, you can get used to it. You still have 10 hours of hell around with him. I don't know what it is, but it explodes cliché. But more, I would like to notice how inconvenient it to aim a certain object with such a perspective. She aims at opponents automatically, there are no problems with this, but if you need to aim at some exploding barrels, this is already a problem. While I was able to aim and hit the barrel, I already shot the opponents in parallel. These dogs are still just as small and you still hit them the same way. If you get close to the fire, you will take damage. To do this, you don't even need to touch the fire. It will give you damage over the Wi-Fi. You might think that this somewhat stupid nitpicking or some motherfucker, but it pisses me off when you try to pick up something, as it fucks you. I wanted to find fault with that fact that Claire is somehow beaten too often and she still doesn't turn, but firstly, I already did this and no longer interesting, and secondly, if Claire were standing in front of me, I would have beaten her too. So I don't blame these zombies at all. This is of course a gaming conventions of those times, and I'm grateful that they did not do otherwise, but still how convenient that when interacting with an object, all zombies that were in the room all went straight at me like one will freeze a place, and will not interfere even when I have to stand for a long time and read everything with a written lapse of notice. It seems to me so much that this howl of sorts, if they yawn so much that interfere with me and I constantly yawn with them. A red painting hangs on the wall. I don't see the number on it. 1126. What's wrong with your eyes? But the game doesn't want me to be big-eyed, so it still forces me to get to the room and look at this number closer. And now the alarm will constantly beep this location. She fucked my ears so much that after a while I started turning this off when I appeared here again. Where does such an echo come from in a street of open space?
Yeah! Help me!
This building is so badly soundproofed that I heard Steve's voice loud and clear from here, who was stuck inside the isolated room somewhere in the back of the building.
Oh, I need those. Give them to me.
You gotta be kidding. I found it and I'm keeping it.
One fool is not able to explain what she needs this pistol for, and the second fool... just a fool. Nothing new with him. The footsteps sound in this game are probably the most unusual, loudest and most fucking annoying footsteps I ever heard. Also some other sounds here can complete in madness. How is it possible to shoot so obliquely with sniper rifle with a laser sight? And why the hell do you need a laser sight on a sniper, other than warning the enemy that you're aiming at him?
You don't fool me! I am Alfred Ashford, commander of this base.
Of course I understand that he will end up in trance, but this did not stop his voice from poke my ears. And the voice is still okay, but the laughter... his laugh is fucked up. Yes, by the way, the main villain of the Code Veronica was doing of those days what all self-respecting teenagers are doing now, 20 years later, sex change. And how difficult it is for him to go downstairs and get close to Claire and shoot right in the forehead. Claire put an additional pockets for inventory, but it did not show up on her body. Considering that even the new parts of the series are haunted with this problem, I will assume that this is their trick. I recently said something about my dogs, so forget it. Compared to these bats, those dogs smoke nervously on the sidelines. With almost 100% probability you won't hit these mice, but they will definitely have time to bite you at least once. Some bosses in the game are completely optional, you can run through them and save your health, but if you burst your ass and defeat him, you will get cool thing. I don't know which one, because I'm pissed off to fight him. And here are exploding barrels. The cliché that appeared on The Simpsons became a cliché squared. Climbing upstairs, I found that Alfred was completely down. With a sniper and Claire at gunpoint, he fucked up because he would obviously lose fight. Doors are usually knocked out with fists, not with the back of a hand. Sometimes before opening the door, the camera will zoom very slowly and for a long time and handle because Claire supposedly afraid of what behind the door. And I would not even mind such a move if such scene could be skipped, because we will die. And having loaded up to this door and again watch this scene. Sometimes seems to have played enough of Max Payne. Someone seems to have confused a pistol magazine with a machine gun belt.
Happy now?
Claire gave Steve one magazine, which somehow replenished the ammo of both machine guns, and which was enough to clear several rooms full of bunch of zombies. And also this one. And this one. By the way, Steve just shot his dad, and right now the player has to shed liquid tears. But I don't give a shit of these characters, so I already sketched the hand of skip the cutscene. But in any case, with the help of these machine guns, it is not possible to shoot from the hands of different targets. When a crowd of zombies come at you, it is really convenient. None of the playable characters can break glass. It must have been very painful. Gradually my favorite gameplay features begin to creep into the game, called where the hell do I need to go. And this is present even when I have right objects and I know where it needs to interact with. But the problem is that the game design here is not the best in the series. You have several large locations available at once, which are very similar to each other in some places. And remembering which room was in which room is not always such an easy task. And so run to one room and run all over the room there, then run to another room and search everyone there. And all this could be avoided if the items needed for the platform interaction were marked on the map, at least after I found them. When the key is no longer needed after use, I am offered to get rid of this keep it. And the question is, why the hell do I need to key that I can't use anywhere else? Why not automatically remove it from the inventory? Grenade launcher explosions with a centimeter of Claire won't do any damage for her. No matter how much I kill zombies here in the cemetery, they will still constantly spawn, because in this cemetery people were buried on top of each other by 30 floors. Otherwise it is impossible to explain why there's so much of them. Sometimes these long door opening scenes happen even when Jill has no idea there's any danger behind the doors. She was in this room just a minute ago and shot everyone who was there. What is she afraid of? Is it weak to release the other hand from the gun and move this twist like normal people? One of the cool innovations was the crossbow that shoots nails. And while it's pretty cool, I can't help but wonder why Claire can pick up the fire nails from the corpses she shot at to use them again.
Greetings. You must be the lovely Claire Redfield.
And you must have got out from the stones. No, seriously, there is blocked passage. Where did they come from?
Oh, how your brother will weep to see you die. What? What is it? Stay there. I'm coming. It appears you may be of some further use to me. I'm going to let you live a little longer.
Wonderful excuse not to kill the character, of course, but if you need her as a bait for Chris, why not tie her up and shove her somewhere in custody so she can't escape everywhere and so you can always have access to her when you need her. Playing the piano, opening the secret door cliché. This trainee has some unhealthy relationship with sniper rifle. How could you miss for such a distance?
What? No!
Wait a second. What just happened?
So there never was an Alexia after all.
You mean he thinks he's two people?
Yes, only earlier when you eavesdrop of them, you could see that when a male voice sounded, Alexia's lips did not move.
I am aware of that, Alexia.
Which means there are still two of them, or what?
The self-destruct system has
That
been
freak! He's trying to blow.
Because we're without a self-destruction system in a Resident Evil. Since the developers do not know how to make artificial intelligence, when we are together with some partner, he is either injured and cannot walk, or the control is locked while he runs away, and as soon as he runs away from the location, we will be able to move on. This door was so camouflaged that I poked the walls for several minutes, not understanding how to get out of here. How lucky we are that some 20-year-old boy flumbles to how to play the plane, which is the only option for salvation. This fucking boss fight jacked all my fucking nerves. With these crippled controls, you will dodge his blows, he kill you with a few blows, and until you know that it is enough to throw the load of him several times, you will go bad trying to not to die. But even if you know how to kill him, you still need to wait until you have the opportunity to throw off his load, during which he will most likely beat you. And it's also good that I saved myself in the location with manual saves on the emulator, otherwise I would have to constantly wait for this download, go to the door, wait until it opens. Personally, I died here probably 20 times, which took me 40 minutes, that is, and with all these loadings, this time would increase to 50. It might have looked like the game was over when all of a sudden...
My apologies, but I cannot let you escape now.
Also, you can display a moving picture in a video link. Yes, we got a little fucked up, and at the end of the whole fight scene, the game will tell us that actually only went through the first half of it, and there is still a lot of content ahead of us, which is very cool. If in the second game we were offered to go through the same campaign for a different character, with the same story only on the other hand, and in the third game they didn't give a damn about it, then here is a full-fledged gameplay quite based on the old locations, which are also visually changed, but much more complete than what it was before. Of course, I was upset because I was already glad that I finished the gameplay and could start the script, and I had to finish the gameplay all day, but fuck me. No matter how many times I use the Potter Herb, I will constantly grow back in a second. No matter how many times I run a pipeline, these boxes will appear endlessly.
Steve, watch out!
Due to Steve's sperm toxicity, the room we need is now filled with poison gas, and instead of getting into the tractor right now and getting out there, we will still to find a gas mask, a valve and a pump out this poison. Thanks Steve, you're such a useful character. She can't leave this place without Steve. Stupid girl. The glass door to the gas mask will open only where the gas is in the room. That is, if the gas leaked in some other room, we can assume that those employers who were there were fucked. Well, yes, this door is glass. Of course you can open it with a butt in any case. The fire prevents me from getting off the gun. Girl, over there on the edge of the space is not filled with fire, through which you can easily squeeze through the gate of the gun. After I saw the valve, I returned back to the assembly line where new zombies appeared, despite the fact that I had shot everyone here before. Where did they come from? Why couldn't he have done this before? Of course, I understand that you did not expect that you would be in Antarctica and therefore did not take warm clothes with you, but still being in such weather conditions with a bare belly, you should not at least temple from the cold a little bit. Aiming with a sniper rifle with arrows hurts, and it would seem the second PlayStation had sticks, why not use them? They can be used, it just they will work and principle of arrows, and therefore it's not convenient to aim in same way.
Are you alright?
Claire! You're alive!
Did he seriously pass out while hanging with one hand from the tree? Hemorrhoids provided. For some reason, it seems to me that after such an accident, even without being fastened, the bodies of Steve and Claire should have been combined into one common illegible slurry, consisting of poop, urine, and everything else that they have instead of us. This is the closest we'll see to nudity. And now we've suddenly switched to a new playable character, Chris Redfield, who hasn't learned how to kick cobblestones yet, but has learned how to plagiate Tom Cruise by climbing the rock like a ladder. Who would have thought, but this man, after such penetration into worm... managed to survive. How convenient that all these things that Claire put in drawer were magically transferred to Chris through the drawer that she had never even been near. The year 2000s, and we still don't know how to put characters in loading elevators.
A friendly but naive king who wed a very nasty queen.
Who is that?
This is a woman who sings without using her mouth.
The queen was fierce.
In a couple of years, Chris will be able to beat cobblestone with his fists, and now he can't even cope with a wooden door that just doesn't have a handle. Those drones are scanning Chris and unleashing dementors on him, or whatever are called, and Chris is such a smart dude, didn't even think to shoot those things so they wouldn't scan him again. In this building, Chris has only one chest hidden dick knows where, in the very depths of the cave from which the original came, and therefore where I don't have enough first aid kit upstairs, or some plot item I have there, then I will have to stomp my feet on the way there and then stomp back. Why not make at least one more somewhere on the first or second floor?
Here's a little secret, Chris. I figured out that your sister is now in the Antarctic with Alexia. It's too bad you won't be seeing her again.
Thank you so much for letting me know where my sister is and not following me to kill this so that I can save and once again interfere with your plans. Here is another crazy boss that I beat for a long time. Not because he is difficult, but because you need to endlessly run back and forth in the hope of having time to run up to him and shoot while he again didn't move to the other side. The boss is simple if you don't climb in this water, but all this running across is so long and tiring that this is nightmare. I didn't expect this sick reference to ET in any way in Resident Evil. Run, idiot! Why are you standing still? They still scan you now. Move at least away from the beam. A copy of the same estate from the first part is cool. In order for this mechanism to work, you need to hang a shotgun on the hanger. I can't hang any other weapon except a shotgun for some reason. Steve turned into the Hulk of 2003, and in the next cutscene he will completely die, and thank to God he will stop pissing me off with oppression. But before he dies, he still has time to piss me off one last time. Namely in this segment with running away, in which it is impossible to dodge his attack, and you constantly need to go into the inventory to heal, and if you don't have any first aid kits with you, then you have no chance.
I love you, Claire.
Who dubbed it? I'm sure you say to every woman you meet in your life, you're little spermic toxic. What a convenient mutation that covers only most intimate places of the body. How do these spiders manage to bite me through my shoes while running? Where did this weirdo jump out if there was no one in the room when I walked there? It's so unusual to see Chris unable to break down some kind of door, remembering that he will get up in 9 years.
There should be a self-destruct system somewhere.
Because, well, how else? This damn riddle with eyes made me shit the hell all the time, first not understanding what to do, then go to YouTube to figure out how to get both these crystals, only to be puzzled why the statues doesn't move but mine does. And in the end, having blundered enough, it turned out that one upon a time I turned out the electricity there, which I have already safely forgotten about, and you just need to turn it off. And again, this would not have happened if at least objects with which you interact with were marked on the map. And why, even if you take only one piece of the diamond and open the gramophone that has this record in and take it away, it will not let me take the diamond. What the fuck? Chris is so incapable of jumping, or at least climbing objects that can be climbed, that in order to pick up a card from a jug, which probably could even be reached, he didn't even need to climb anywhere. He decided to invent a puzzle for himself, in which you need to drag his statue to the cracked floor, so that it falls through, you can get this card. It seems to me, or would it not hurt to come up with a stronger password to activate self-destruction? And then the name of your virus is not really a secret, and all sorts of crook like me will be able to launch the self-destruction without much difficulty.
I'll keep her busy. Just go for the emergency elevator.
Chris, but
I can take care of this. Just go.
Wouldn't it better to leave her with us to help fight the final boss so that we can kill him faster and be able to quickly get out of here? You're going to wait there anyway, why not help? If shooting from sniper rifle was just awkward, then these attempts to hit a flying small target can only be characterized by words fuck it.
Let her go, Wesker. You don't want her.
Fine.
What do you mean good? Didn't you say recently that you want to watch Chris watch her die? When did you change your mind? And why keep her alive? She already served wait, you don't need her anymore.
You get out of here, Claire.
But what about?
As a surviving member of STARS, I have to finish this.
It's okay that you have self-destruction going on there. Maybe saving your life seems a little more urgent to worry about than killing Wesker. And it feels like it's supposed to be another boss fight, but there probably wasn't enough time for it, so we will watch a long cutscene.
Today's your lucky day. Next time we meet, don't count on another.
Next time.
Until we meet again.
Why are you laughing, idiot? If you hadn't run and immediately threw Chris into a cliff or broke his neck, or at least something other than the usual throwing around the room, you would have already defeated him, and in case of malicious laughter, you will have some meaning. This jet, most likely after such an explosion, is fucked, just like the game, in the sense that it is over. And the only thing I want to do is go to the Capcom office and remind them of existence of this game, so that they finally make a full-fledged remake. Because this game is very cool, albeit stupid in places, but in many ways it's already outdated and many things feel so-so. Maybe it's just because I'm spoiled with modern remakes of the Resident Evil most likely, but no matter, I'm still looking forward to this remake. In the meantime, it's not in principle you can play on emulator, if this clumsy control does not scare you. On the original console I do not advise, because without manual saves, at any time in some places you can get fucked. And if you already fucked, you can subscribe to this channel, like and report this video.